Hi, my name is Hillary Smith. I'm one of the dietitians with Intermountain Home Care and Hospice. In this video, we are going to go through how to set up your home tube feeds using the Moog EnteraLite Infinity pump. First, we're going to collect all our supplies. That's going to include the patient education sheet that you should have gotten in your admit packet, titled Giving an Enteral Feeding with an Infinity Pump. We're going to also need our IV pole, our pole clamp, our charger cord, our pump, our bag set. You may have a 1200 ml bag set or a 500 ml bag set. You're going to need some sort of hand sanitizer or a way to wash your hands, the person in their feeding tube, a 60 ml syringe, a cup of water for flushing, and of course the formula, which could look something like this, or which is a ready to feed or powder. Next, we're going to go ahead and attach the pump to the pole clamp. You can see on the back here, there's just a place to insert that screw and start screwing it righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Once the pump's secure to the IV pole and the pole clamp, first we're going to wash our hands or sanitize. Let's go ahead and take our bag set, and we're going to fill it up with formula. We're going to shake the formula, remove the cap, and you want to please adhere to the formula hang times that will be listed on the screen. We're going to pour that formula into the bag set. And we are going to gently squeeze the air out, and then we'll close the bag set. Squeeze a little bit of that air out, take the cap, and screw it right on, making sure that it shouldn't be leaking. Now we're going to go ahead and prime the bag set. That just means to fill the tubing with formula. The first option with the Infinity is to manually prime the pump set. We're going to go ahead and remove the cap at the end of the bag tubing. Place it somewhere. And we're going to locate on the bag tubing a teardrop a teardrop image that is located on this teal tubing. We're going to gently squeeze that to open the one-way valve. And we are going to go ahead and prime the formula through that tubing by gently squeezing or pressing towards a hard surface. You'll see that formula start to come through the tubing. And once it gets to the end, you can stop. Now we're going to hang the bag on the IV pole. From there, we're going to load the pump set into the pump by simply opening this door by gently pressing up on the bottom of the door. Wrap the tubing around the black rotor. Gently stretch until it seats in the cassette. Close the door. Now we're going to turn on the pump. We're going to locate the button under on off. Hold it for about 2 seconds. Some numbers will flash across the screen indicating a self-test. Nothing you need to be concerned about. Now we have this second option to prime our tubing using the pump. How we would do that is we would simply put the end of the tubing over a bowl or sink and manually prime the pump by pressing the button under the word prime. Hold it down. You simply release the button and that will stop it. Now we're going to set our feed rate. We locate the button titled Rate Dose. Press it until it says Rate in the lower left corner. Using the plus or minus, we insert the rate that we've been told to do so. For this case, we'll do 36. So if I accidentally went above 36, I simply hold the minus button until I get to the desired rate. The rate is the milliliters per hour that the pump will infuse. Next, we're going to set the dose. The dose is the total volume of formula that you want to be delivered at a certain time. Press rate dose again. Make sure it says dose in the bottom left-hand screen of the screen. And again, use the plus or minus to get to the dose that you desire. For Intermountain, we typically set our doses to INF or infinity. INF, to get to INF, you press the plus sign until it goes up to the max of 3,000, and one more to INF. Confirm the pump settings by turning the pump on, off, and then on. You'll locate that under the button that is titled off on. Hold for about 3 seconds to turn the pump off, and hold for about 2 to 3 seconds to turn the pump back on. Here we can confirm that our rate and dose are set correctly. By pressing the button rate dose, we have our rate set to 36 milliliters per hour and our dose set to INF. Before we connect to the patient, we are going to have to flush the tube to make sure that everything is good to go. We do that by taking the 60 ml syringe, drawing up the desired amount of fluid that you'll find on your screen for age range. You're going to uncap the feeding tube of the patient, which may look like any of these. For now, I'm going to use a G-tube or gastrostomy tube. We're first going to make sure that this C-clamp or the white clamp is clamped before we take the top off. We're going to uncap the feeding tube. We're going to connect the 60 ml infant syringe, or whichever syringe you're using, and we're going to go ahead and unclamp the tube. We're going to flush the tube with the full dose of water. We're going to reclamp, and we're going to take that syringe off. We're going to take the end of the bag set and connect it to our patient or loved one. Just a simple twist, don't need to over tighten, is sufficient enough to make sure you have a tight fit. Then we're going to start the feed by pressing run pause. The pump will beep and a little wheel indicating with the word run in the middle will indicate that you are feeding the patient. In order to stop the feed, we'll press that run pause again, and that wheel will disappear, indicating that the feed is held. In order to turn off the pump, we simply press the on-off button again. At the completion of the feed, your pump is going to alarm no food. In order to stop this alarm, press run pause. For the purpose of this demonstration, we are not done for the feed for the day, and so we're going to refill the bag set. We'll go ahead and turn the pump off for the time being, and then we'll take either the patient who is getting the feeds, the entire pump, the pole, the bag, everything to a sink, or you can disconnect from the patient if they are not able to walk or anything, but keep everything connected and simply take the bag over to a sink with the pump, and we're going to refill the bag set for the rest of the feed. How we do this is we want to make sure not to add any new formula to old formula, so if there is any formula remaining in the bag, you'll want to dump that out, and then we're going to rinse the bag with some warm water, just tap water is fine. We'll want to make sure to shake this up and get the old formula out of the bag set before we put new formula in. Please know you don't have to get the tubing clean. That's okay to have in there, as it will go first. We're going to go ahead and refill the bag with the remainder of the formula for the day. We'll cap that bag again. Once the bag is refilled, we'll turn the pump back on. You should not need to necessarily reprime the tubing unless you find air in the line. You can go ahead and use the prime pump feature on the pump. Once we get it to the end of the tubing, we make sure the patient is connected and we press run pause again or run to make sure that the feed has started. Again, you have that circle in the top right corner stating run, indicating that you're feeding your patient. Once the feeding is complete, we'll make sure that we press run pause to stop the feed if it hasn't already stopped, and then we'll go ahead and turn the pump off. Disconnect the feeding bag set from our loved one. Connect and make sure that the tube is clamped or tube is capped, and discard the bag after 24 hours of use. Use of the backpack for the Infinity pump. First, take a look at the backpack to notice all the compartments. Here we have one for the pump, the front pocket for probably a 500 ml bag, this middle pocket for probably like an ice pack or something to keep the formula cool, and the back pocket for the 1200 ml bag. Loading the Infinity pump into the backpack. First, we're going to take the bag set and we're going to go ahead and strap it in. For this instance, we have the 1200 ml bag set in the back pocket or the larger pocket. There's a little hole here that you can thread the tubing of the bag through. We're going to zip that up. Next, we're going to make sure that our bag set is connected to our pump, again by loading the bag set. And then we're going to go ahead and close the door and secure the pump into the backpack using this little pocket and its strap. Go ahead and tuck everything in, a little bit hanging out as it will be connected to the feeding pump. Zip everything up. And here you have access for use of the function of the pump outside. Charging the Infinity pump. Unplugging the power cord from the Infinity pump will put it into battery mode. On a full charge, the Infinity pump should last about 24 hours. To recharge the battery, or anytime the person feeding is sitting in the same place or something, keep the power cord in. How you do that is on the side of the pump. There's a little place to put the power cord. You hear a click and it'll start to charge. And that will be indicated by this plug icon below with the E to F starting to fill. If you need any help or additional troubleshooting, you can find that in this education piece that you got in your admin packet. At the very end, you'll have a chart that helps you guide you through any alarms you might see. Infinity pump additional features. Press the on-off button in addition to the plus button. On, off, and plus. Hold those down. Comes to your additional features. First feature is beep low, beep high. In order to change between the two, you use the plus or minus. So if you want beep high, the volume of the beep, you would press the plus sign until it says beep high. If you want beep low, press the minus sign to beep low. To toggle to the next feature, you would press the prime button. Unlock versus lock. Change using the plus or minus to unlock versus lock. That will lock the pump settings. With it being locked, that'll lock the pump settings so nothing can be changed. Press the prime button to get to the next additional feature. Beep when done versus mute when done. That's the side of the alarm. So if you want an alarm if you want to hear an alarm, you would want beep when done. Plus to say beep when done. Minus to say mute when done. Prime again to the last feature, which is light on, light off. That's the screen light plus to have the light on negative or minus to have the light off. To get out of the additional features, you're going to have to turn the pump off. Now we hope you feel comfortable setting up your home tube feeds using the Infinity pump. Thanks so much for your time, and if you need any help, please call your enteral team.